Hey everybody, here's a few tips. When you get home from the grocery store and you have 3 or 4 blocks of cheese that you need to deal with, what I like to do is spend 15 or 20 minutes shredding them ahead of time. It makes the rest of the week just a little bit easier. Every 4 ounces should get you 1 cup. In this little black container, I have some Pecorino Romano. I like to buy these containers. In fact, these containers are awesome because you can freeze them. You can put them in the dishwasher, and you can put them in the microwave. What else? Of course, and then obviously, it'll likely disintegrate at some point, and it won't be useful. But I can probably get half a dozen, 12 uses out of them. Put them in clean, fresh containers. Put them in the same size containers. They stack up nicely. So what I like to do is I use parchment paper, shred it right on the parchment paper. I use the I do the hard cheeses first, and like the Parmesan, Pecorino Romano. Here's some Gruyere. I'm going to do a block of cheddar, which is a little bit softer, and then I have a little bit of mozzarella that I need to use up, which is very soft. I do the very soft ones last. Anyhow, it's a great way to just get your shredding done, over and done with. That way you're ready to go when your recipe calls for a cup or 2 of cheddar or of cheese. Also, too, here's another tip. Typically, if you do use shredded cheese, you usually eat less cheese. So we know cheese is very fattening, but it is delicious. I think we all have our favorite cheeses. But typically, yeah, they are very fattening. And anyways, try that, see if that works. It helps me out a lot. Of course, you can always slice them too. If you want them for pre-made sandwiches, if you get your slicer there and whatnot. And I think that's about all I have to say. Hope these little tips help you, deal with cheese. Like I said, when you got 15 or 20 minutes, do your hard cheeses first, then move on to softer cheeses. And you use your parchment paper here like a funnel. Kind of like a funnel. Get in there when you're done shredding your block of cheese. Don't forget, for about every 4 ounces, because the question I get a lot, 4 ounces should equal 1 cup of shredded cheese. Anyways, do this, and then you don't have that crap in your cheese that's in pre-shredded cheese. You don't have that crap that, hopefully YouTube doesn't ding me for that one, that keeps it from caking. Okay? Alright, take care, guys. How do I... Hey everybody, I forgot a couple of things. I didn't have to shred any Parmesan because I'm substituting with the Pecorino Romano, which is right here. Because sometimes that Parmesan, sometimes you have to sell your first child to be able to afford it. So sometimes I substitute with the Pecorino Romano, but the Parmesan is beautiful. But see these rinds right here? See that? Okay, so I've got lots of rind right here. Don't toss those out. Toss them in your heated vegetable soups, your spaghetti sauce, your pastas. What I would do is cut this probably in half or maybe thirds or something, and put in there to give it added extra flavor and just a little bit of that cheesy taste. I mean, even if it's canned soup or canned chili, heat it up with it, and you've got some flavor there. Don't toss those out. Another hint or suggestion is on the lids, put a use by date, and just make sure you rotate in your refrigerator. So I ended up getting, let's see, I got 1 pound with the cheddar cheese, about 5 ounces of the Gruyere. Gruyere is another one that cost a pretty penny. And then I've got 7 ounces of the Pecorino Romano. And then the mozzarella, I've got about 3 ounces, 2 or 3 ounces there that I'm going to use up in a dish here probably today or tomorrow because it needs to be used up. And like I said, these are awesome because they stack nicely in your refrigerator. See, because they're all an even size. Anyways, hope these tips help. Have a great day.